Breaking news for viewers. Ethiopian government has declared humanitarian ceasefire in Ethiopia to find a solution to Tigray conflict. Just 30 minutes ago, Ethiopian Communication Ministry issued a statement, a detailed statement. We'll try to have a detailed look at this statement. What does it mean for the resolution of Tigray conflict? Is Tigray on board? Will Tigray Defense Force withdraw from afar, from Wag Himra, from North Gondar zones? Several important questions. Let's have a look at this statement first. What is Ethiopian government saying? This is the third ceasefire, we can say, which has been announced since the start of Tigray conflict in November 2020. First ceasefire was announced in June last year. Unilateral ceasefire was announced by Ethiopian government, rejected by Tigray fighters. Then in December last year, once again, Ethiopian government decided to suspend military operation. Now this is the third time a truce has been announced by the government. What is the government saying? Firstly, the government says that within the past few weeks, it has tried to step up delivery of aid to Tigray. It increased number of flights, humanitarian flights to Tigray. It expedited process of clearance of aid for delivery to Tigray. WHO, ICRC, European Union, they were allowed to deliver aid to Tigray by air. But despite all these measures, people from Tigray started fleeing towards neighboring regions. Thousands entered Amhara and other regions from Tigray. It means the situation in Tigray was alarming. This alarming situation warrants emergency measures. That is why the government has decided to declare humanitarian ceasefire. And it's an indefinite ceasefire. It's not for just a few days or a few weeks. It's indefinite humanitarian ceasefire for delivery of aid to Tigray. Secondly, the government says that the commitment to delivery of aid for delivery of aid to Tigray, its outcome depends upon the response of Tigray, the other side. Will Tigray reciprocate or not? And then lastly, it is calling upon Tigray fighters to withdraw from neighboring regions. The statement uses the word insurgents, that Tigray insurgents must withdraw from the areas occupied by them in neighboring regions. And lastly, it is urging international community to increase its support for aid delivery to Tigray. So, the government is saying that this truce has been announced because people of Tigray are in dire need of aid. But it is calling upon Tigray fighters to withdraw from neighboring regions. We have been updating you that something big was coming. And you see that this is the something big we were talking about. In a video 2 days ago, I reported about the presence of 3 mediators in Ethiopia. We know that African Union's Obasanjo was in Ethiopia. David Satterfield of the US and Bankole Adeoye of African Union, all were in Ethiopia. Extensive discussions were underway. David Satterfield visited Amhara region. Then Obasanjo visited Afar. So something big was being planned. Ethiopian government was trying to take all the players on board. Then this something big was announced 30, 40 minutes ago. Is Tigray on board? Yes, I personally think Tigray is on board. In coming hours, we could see a statement from Tigray welcoming this move. If it does not happen, it would be unfortunate. I think Tigray is on board. Why? Tigray is in dire need of aid. People are fleeing Tigray. They're not TPLF's agents. They are people who are in dire need of food. That's why they're fleeing Tigray. So Tigray will welcome this move. That's my analysis. Secondly, question is, will Tigray Defense Force withdraw from the areas in neighboring regions? Which areas? Afar? No problem. From afar, Tigray forces can withdraw from Abala, Megale, Kanaba, Birhale. Tigray forces might start withdrawing in coming hours. They have been saying it that they don't want to occupy Afar land. So withdrawal from Afar, it's not a difficult question. I personally think this withdrawal could start in coming hours. But problem is the presence of Tigray Defense Force in Vog Himra, in North Gondar. TDF is in North Gondar, it's in Adi Erke, it's in Abergale, Vog Himra. Will Tigray Defense Force withdraw from these places? I don't think so, because Amhara forces are still in Volkayat, in Humra. As long as there is no solution to Humra Volkayat issue, I think Tigray forces will remain in Waghemra in North Gondar. Yes, they could withdraw from afar in coming hours. Overall, it's a breakthrough. It's a very important development. At least something positive is happening. The talks, indirect talks, underway for months, they have now produced some results. How will this development be received in the Amhara region? We'll have to wait and see. Can delivery of aid to Tigray through Amhara possible? No, I don't think so. Delivery of aid to Tigray is only possible through Afar, because in Amhara region still there are tensions between Tigray and Amhara fighters and their leaders as well. So I don't think that Amhara region would allow delivery of aid to Tigray through its region. Delivery of aid would be through Afar. Lastly, viewers, can we say that this decision of truce has come due to HR 6600, that the pressure was being built upon Ethiopian government, that some serious sanctions could be imposed in coming days? Well, it could be one of the reasons, but the talks have been underway for some time, for several weeks. HR 6600, S3199, these bills are a way of putting pressure upon Ethiopian government, but the government has resisted pressure in the past as well. We know that last year US, EU exerted immense pressure upon Ethiopian government, but the government resisted the pressure. So I personally don't think that this issue is linked just to this declaration is linked just to HR 6600. It might have a small role in this announcement. Otherwise, Ethiopian government wants some sort of solution. Main problem is economy. Economic pressure is increasing. Inflation on the rise. Cost of living increasing. Unemployment on the rise. Tigray has stepped back a little as well. Tigray has been maintaining this position that no ceasefire until Tigray's borders are restored. So Tigray's borders have not been restored so far to pre-war position, to November 2020 position. The borders have not been restored so far. Western Tigray, Humra, Volkay, Sagad is still under the control of Amhara forces. But still, I think Tigray forces, Tigray government will accept this ceasefire. So that just shows, if it happens, that Tigray government has stepped back a little from its position. It's due to the crisis, humanitarian crisis in Tigray. People are in urgent need of aid in Tigray. overall a very positive development, a good development that better sense seems to be prevailing. African Union, US, Ethiopian government, Tigray government, all are playing their role to resolve this crisis. The statement says that this move could pave the way for resolution of Tigray conflict without bloodshed. That's very important. It means that some other steps will also be taken in coming hours, coming days. We could see start of direct talks, open talks in coming days. We'll update you in coming hours. Let's see how Tigray responds to this announcement of Ethiopian federal government. Thank you for watching.